If you are in a season of waiting and you have a promise from God, this might be a word for you. I'm going to share with you what the Lord told me when I asked him, Lord, how long do I have to suffer in this waiting season? So it's in Exodus 23, and the Lord is telling his people, the Israelites, that he's going to send an angel before them, and he gives them a promise, and he says, he's going to drive out their enemies and the inhabitants of the land that he's preparing for the people. But this is what he says: I will not drive them out before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. Little by little I will drive them out from before you until you have increased and you inherit the land. So the Lord spoke to me that it's for my sake, or for the sake of the person that I'm praying for, that he doesn't do everything right away, and that it's not that he's doing nothing, but that what he is doing is little by little, so that he can strengthen the person or the people who he is fulfilling his promises to. So it's not always on his part that we have to wait. It's because he's trying to be gentle with us so that the promise that he's giving us, we don't get destroyed in the process of taking it. In the case of the Israelites, it wasn't because of his timing and because of what he wanted that he had to do it little by little. It was because he needed them to become stronger as a people. It was his protection, and he was warning them, this is why I have to do it this way. Another thing that he pointed out to me is that he even used a people who he didn't want them to be influenced by, because those people were worshiping other gods. He used them, though, somehow to protect his people, since they couldn't occupy that whole territory yet. And so the Lord was showing me, sometimes he will even use the things that are unhealthy and dysfunctional in our lives because we're not ready to exist without them. Maybe it's even the things that you're using to cope in your life. And without those things, you wouldn't be able to cope with life. And so even though it's a crutch that God doesn't want in your life, he'll still allow it rather than take it all away at one time and then have you crumble. And I always think back to this when I'm waiting on a promise from God, or I always remember that he said little by little. He's not doing nothing. He said little by little. I am doing it, but I have to do it this way. That may be a word for you today. It was a word for me. I think about it still, and it comforts me to this day to know he is still working, and he is watching over his word and his promise to perform it.